Lance Russell, Dave Brown right along ringside, and we're all ready to go with another big week championship wrestling, Davey.
You're right about the big week. We have Dennis Condrey and Randy Rose, the Midnight Express, coming in here to go against Rick McCord. Eric Embry should be a good opening match. Dutch Mantell will be in here a single match against Gypsy Joe. The King will be taking on Ernie Kirkland out of Nashville. Then we'll have Norvell Austin against Roy Rogers. The Monk goes against David Price. And expiration of time tag team action today. Stan Lane and Danny Davis will be going against Sweet Brown Sugar and beautiful Bobby Eaton.
We got all that in one show?
All of it today.
I'm going to tell you one thing. We better get at it right now because we ain't got time to get it all in. We're going to be back with action in just one moment. Has the Midnight Express involved. And here they are, Randy Rose, Dennis Condrey, and Norvell Austin. I got to say that the Midnight Express has been kind of low profile. I haven't seen any of the championship matches with the Express's name in it.
You know, Lance Russell, if you had to stand out here and tell the truth for once, you would have to say that this is the best tag team you have ever seen in your life. Now, every time we wrestled Keirn and Dundee, brother, we left them in the face down in the middle of the ring, a puddle of blood, every time. Not just once. It happened every time, so that goes to show you that it wasn't luck, baby. Now, they won't even let us on TV. They say we're too violent. We hurt too many people, baby. We're going to open up some eyes around here. I don't know what we're going to have to do. If we have to hurt people, we can do that. It doesn't matter to us.
Exactly right. I'm going to tell you another thing. The Express is bad boys, and everybody out there know it. Now, my boss went through everybody here as a tag team, and I went through Jerry Lawler. I ran over him like a Mack truck, and he negotiated now another contract in. But we're going to get some attention around here, and we have to start hurting people. We're going to get some attention because the Midnight Express is #1. And put that in your pipe and smoke it.
Have a chair, Norvell, and we'll just see how #1-ish they are. Dave, let's take a look at the official introduction.
It's a one-fall, 15-minute time limit match. Introducing at a total weight of 439 pounds. They'll be on the right. From Salem, Virginia, Rick McCord. And from Cloverport, Kentucky, Eric Embry. Going against him at a total of 477 pounds. From Florida, Dennis Condrey. From Atlanta, Georgia, Randy Rose. Their manager, Norvell Austin, the Midnight Express. This match, one fall, 15-minute time limit. And the referee is Jerry Calhoun.
It is indeed Jerry Calhoun. Action time as Norvell takes the chair. Big Rose and Condrey will be going against the young active team of Eric Embry, starting out with Randy Rose and Eric's partner, Rick McCord.
Eric Embry has been in the area for a couple of weeks now. He's been impressive. First time we saw him in a tag team match, he was really looking good. I think that was a 6-man match where we saw him the first time. He steps over Randy Rose, and again, Rose sets. Embry ducks under. There's some good moving around the ring by Eric Embry against big Randy Rose of the Midnight Express. Up in the air. Embry hangs on, reverses Randy Rose and takes him down to the mat. He's got a headlock on him. Rose up on his knees, now up on one foot. Embry hanging on to the headlock. The whistle you hear from time to time is Norvell Austin in the corner. Embry fired into the ropes. Into the ropes again. And this time he holds up. Randy Rose a bit disgusted. Embry twice now has been able to duck under as he was waiting for it. Rose gets him down to the mat. Makes the tag on Dennis Condrey. Condrey using that middle rope to choke Embry while Norvell smacks him from outside with a right hand. Condrey with a fist. Condrey again using the ropes, this time the top ropes. He's choking Embry. Rose down the apron. Snaps him back into the ring. Condrey calls for a knee. Gets it. And Eric Embry's head bounced right into it. Upper arm by Randy Rose. Rose whips him into the rope. Drives him to the mat. Got a 1, 2. 2 count. Embry's got a foot over the bottom rope. He had that right foot over the bottom rope. That stopped the count at 2. We're a little more than 2.5 minutes into this one. 15 minutes, the overall time limit. 1 fall only. There's Norvell Austin out of his chair, smacking Embry again. Double team by Rose and Condrey of the Midnight Express. Embry's been in there all the way for his team. Vicious right hand by Dennis Condrey. Embry battling back. Trying to get to the corner. He does it. Gets the tag on Salem, Virginia's Rick McCord. McCord steps in and immediately hammered by Dennis Condrey. Condrey over to the corner, tags Randy Rose. Rose drops down on McCord. Picks him up by the hair. Backs him to the rope. Fires him across the ring. And back drops him. Lower leg. Rose dropped on him. 1. Down to 1. Picks him up by the hair again. And then nails him. Boy, McCord only weighs about 218. Outweighed by many pounds by both Rose and Condrey. A suplex by Condrey. A cover. Count of 1, but again, Condrey breaks the cover at the 1 count. Double arm off the rope. Eric Embry steps in there, try to even it up a bit. He's sent back to the corner by referee Jerry Calhoun. Condrey holding McCord up in the air. Off the top rope. Game Randy Rose. There's a cover. 1, 2, and 3. Well, that does it. The Midnight Express. Well, they took the mean pills before they came in here today, it looks like.
Well, a little more than just a win. They could have pinned it before that. They inflicted a little additional punishment.
They did get the victory. 4 minutes, 10 seconds. 4 minutes, 10 seconds, the total time on the match.
Well, there's no question they're a big, rugged team, Condrey and Rose in particular. And you can throw Austin in there with either one of them, and you've still got a rough team. Embry and Rick McCord gave it a go, but it wasn't good enough. The winners, the Midnight Express, back in a moment. Okay, the Dutchman is ready, and we are ready for the official announcements on this match.
1 fall, 15-minute time limit from Romania. 224 pounds on the left of your screen, Gypsy Joe. And from Oil Trough, Texas, 224 pounds, the Dutchman, Dutch Mantell. 1 fall, 15-minute time limit. Jerry Calhoun, the referee.
We'll tell you, Davey, we got all the makings of our hurting match right here, because we've mentioned so many times Gypsy Joe, who will be disqualified as much as he'll finish a match. Regardless of how it comes out, he's going to hurt you. Now, that's all there is to it. But he's going against a guy who has lived with that hurt for a long time, and that's Dutch Mantell. Tough son of a gun. This ought to be a good one right here. Out of the corner. Joe pulls Dutch, and Dutch right back up on his feet.
I don't know what the record is for most disqualifications in a wrestling career, but Gypsy Joe's got to be closing in on it anyway.
Dutch Mantell shows him that two can play the game, and that comes as no surprise. We've seen both of these guys go before, and they are rugged. Joe reaches up, grabs the hair, and referee Jerry Calhoun does not break it. Dutch telling him. Once again, Joe grabbing that hair. And this time the hold is broken, and he's right back at it on Dutch. Pounding away. The referee starts to count, and Joe finally quits. Gypsy Joe off quick with Dutch Mantell. couple of headbutts from Joe. Whip across the ring into the turnbuckles. And Mantell, who's in excellent shape, right now is in some trouble. But don't count the Dutchman out. Not by a long shot. You know better than that. And the audience gets into it. Go Dutch, go. Reverse face lock. Referee breaking the hold. I assume he used hair. I'm not exactly certain the reason for it, but the result was the same regardless. He broke the hold up, but Joe is right back at Dutch. Going after the throat now, one of his favorite areas. He loves that chokehold. King and right to the midsection. And Dutch has a right of his own. Background. Brawl City, Dave, and that's what it looked like from the front end. There's the double Dutch clutch as he shifted it in. Nailed him with that cross coming at it. Scooped Joe up, banged him down with a body slam. Drops with a heavy elbow. Count of 1, 2, give me 3.
Oh, I tell you, when he got the Dutchman stirred up, didn't last long after that. 3 minutes, 40 seconds of time.
Dirty Dutch turned it around with that big right hand. Came out in 3:30 with a victory over Gypsy Joe. Oh, and Dutch Mantell, the winner in that single match, over tough Gypsy Joe, and at least Joe didn't get disqualified.
He was pinned right in the middle of it, no doubt about it.
3:30 is the time, and we're just going to continue right on with another match right here, Davey, as Ernie Kirkland comes in. Rather than taking a break, we will slip straight into our next single match, which will have large Ernie Kirkland, a real stocky kind of a guy, going against the King. Southern heavyweight champ hops in the ring. Non-title bout. Here's the introduction. Danny Davis in his corner.
It's a one-fall, 15-minute time limit match from Nashville, Tennessee. 249 pounds on the left of your screen, Ernie Kirkland. And going against him from Memphis, Tennessee, 232 pounds, with his manager, Danny Davis, the King, Jerry Lawler. One fall, 15-minute time limit. Jerry Calhoun, the referee.
Lawler and Kirkland in a 1:15 single match. Belts off, bell time, off and running.
Lawler with that AWA Southern Heavyweight Championship belt safely in the hands of manager Danny Davis. This is a non-title match. Lawler holds the belt. What is Kirkland? Big guy, almost a 250. Just missed it by 1 pound. Oh. He shoved Lawler back into the ropes, and Lawler fired off of there. Shoulders down, 2. He got him. 31 seconds. Ernie Kirkland only made one mistake. And that's all he had to make. Lawler fired off those ropes, knocked him off his feet. He was stunned, and the 3 count followed. 32 seconds, the time on the match, and the win, a quick one for the King.
And that one is a good example of 2 things, Dave. You can really get some fire coming on that slingshot effect of the ropes when they're into it, where Kirkland had jumped him back into it. And the second one is that you don't have to disable a guy entirely. All you have to do is stun him for enough to get that 1, 2, 3 on it. And that happened to Ernie Kirkland. We've got action. We're going to be back with more of it in just a moment. Southern Tag champions, but a couple of guys that feel like they really ought to have the belts are the Gibson brothers. Rick and Robert. They had a confrontation. It was kind of a wild and woolly one. I'd like for you to see some of the highlights of it right now. Both Jimmy Hart and J.R. Hart are out here. Brown Sugar worried about a special ringside viewer. We've got superstar Bill Dundee. Billy, and how's the arm? Everybody's wondering, and I think so are Eaton and Sugar.
Yeah, they may find that the highway before this is over, Lancer. Like I told you, if it's nothing better tonight, I'm going to sit here every night they're wrestling or whatever they're wrestling, brother. I'm going to be sitting right here. That's the head games that they play when they're playing with when Jimmy Hart's sitting here. They don't know what I'm going to do, so we'll just play it by ear for now and see what happens.
Well, there you hear it. Billy not telling us exactly. Look at here. Beautiful by Robert. As Eaton really bounced off that mat. Bill Dundee not telling us how the shoulder is. Sugar and Eaton don't know how it is. They don't know whether he can use it, whether he's still laid up with it or not. He's just kind of using a little psych out on him. J.R. Hart wandering around the ring like he had no home. Look at Robert go with Brown Sugar. That's Robert. Uh-oh. Rick Gibson down on the floor on the concrete with J.R. Hart as Sugar hits the floor and gets out of the way of Robert. And Rick runs him right out of the ring. Uh-oh. What in the world did they... Something thrown all over Rick Gibson and ringside. Dundee went out there to help him. His arm's still in that sling. It obviously does not look like it is ready to go. Eaton now pounding on him. Rick covered with it. I don't know what that is, man. It's got a wild smell to it. Some kind of dye, stain, paint, or what. Robert Gibson down in the ring. Rick holding his eyes. He's blinded. That is, at the moment, his vision is gone. Bill Dundee trying to help him up. Billy got bounced off the concrete. Oh, boy. And back to the action in the ring for just a second. Beautiful Bobby pounding on Robert. Woo. Boy, that smell. I don't know what that is. What a mess. Referee Paul Morton trying to handle things in the ring, but he can't handle it outside. Dundee swinging at JR on the floor while Robert Gibson trying to do it all by himself up there. Eaton down, jumping on Rick Gibson and Bill Dundee. Promoter Eddie Marlin coming out. He's going to put an end to this. Or put an end to some of them being here, that's for sure. Rick McCord out helping him. Marlin jumping on Hart as Robert Gibson has been had his head looks like both eyes are busted open. Sugar and Eaton both in the ring. Rick Gibson being helped up off the floor. They've given him a towel to try to clean up his eyes. And he's calling a quit to it. Ring the bell. That's it. With Robert bleeding from both eyes. Rick unable to help him. 4 minutes and 23 seconds. Rick has thrown in a towel, and it's going to be all over with. Eaton and Sugar will retain the belts, but it's disgraceful. Look at him. Dundee coming in the ring with a chair. Eddie Marlin trying to pull him out, and does. Eaton grabs the chair, nails Dundee. Marlin hollering, he slapped a fine at him. So, well, a brawl about to begin with Eddie Marlin and Jimmy Hart. Marlin has taken the belts away from Eaton and Sugar. have been taken away from Eaton and Sugar. And not only a just but a courageous move by Marlin. He's now going around to see if he can help stop the abuse that's been going on in there as Robert Gibson nails Dundee in with a chair, nails Eaton. Goes after J.R. Hart, and let me tell you, even with one arm, with that chair in it, Dundee clears the ring in a hurry. Robert Gibson bleeding. Rick Gibson unable to help his brother and has been helped away from ringside. No, Rick is down at ringside. We see him now. Marlin telling Eaton that not only the fine, but he's going to suspend them if they don't get out of here. Eaton still swinging that stick. Well, just a pure brawl. And finally, they're getting Eaton and Sugar out of here.
Oh, I'm telling you, that was bad action out there. Pure brawl is what it turned into. And how the eyes, Rick, at that smell, that camphor, alcohol, whatever it was, really pungent.
You hit the nail on the head, Lance. That was alcohol. It was in my eyes. You know, when he threw up, my eyes was burned. I couldn't see there for a while. I went around for 3 days, my eyes burning hard. Well, let me tell you something. You must have knew it from the first day you heard I was coming back. You've been planning this back in the back of your head. You're going to do something to Rick because you know how much I wanted them belts. Well, let me tell you, Hart, you got me down then. You put me down last week. You threw the stuff in my eyes. You put me down on the apron and then on the floor. Then you got Robert out there, and you'll bust his head open. Well, it took 4 of you to do it. It wasn't no 2 out there. You know how tough the Gibsons are and how darn much we want them belts. A hell of a lot more than your boys want them, for sure. So let me say one thing. This week is going to be a different story. We're coming out at 110%, and if we have to do the same thing that you do to get them belts, we're going to do it. No disqualification, no time limit. There must be a winner. Hart, you better load up, brother, because I'm going to load up with every damn thing I got.
Yeah, the Southern tag belts are held up, and rightly so. And, of course, this puts you both in there even, Robert. It's just going to be a continuation of that battle, but somebody's got to come out a winner.
Well, Lance Russell, I won't expect no wrestling match. We want there for one thing, is get them titles and beat Bobby Eaton and Coco Ware. Jimmy Hart, whatever you got, man, just bring it on down. Because you look at Gibson, Ricky, and Robert. We'll come there for one thing, take them belts, and go home with them, baby.
Okay, good luck to you, the Gibson boys. And they're pretty rugged anytime, but when they get hot like that, I'll guarantee you they're going to be a handful to try to handle. You'll see that one. And whenever they get it together, they are something else. Okay, let's go. We're ready for more action, and let's get to it.
We have a single match coming up here. Norvell Austin, who was here earlier as manager for Dennis Condrey and Randy Rose, Norvell part of the Midnight Express, is in here as a single. This is going to be a 1-fall 15-minute time limit match. Introducing from Nashville, Tennessee at 217 pounds, Roy Rogers. And from Memphis, Tennessee at 227 pounds, Norvell Austin. 1-fall 15-minute time limit. Referee Jerry Calhoun. And, whoa, Roy Rogers turns. Takes the jacket off. He's nailed by Norvell Austin before he can get the jacket off. Austin. Right hand. Roy. Whoa.
Now Roy finally getting the jacket off.
Yeah.
Oh, that high knee that Norvell fires. Big lift.
All Norvell Austin so far.
Norvell's figuring on Roy quitting, brother. He got another thing coming. He may beat him after jumping him that quick, but he's going to have to do just that, beat him, because this young fella won't quit.
Big right fist by Austin. Back into the turnbuckles. Whip across the ring.
Just fired him into those turnbuckles. And Roy still trying to battle his way out of the corner, but Norvell just keeping the pressure right on him. Takes him over the shoulder, down. Drops with that knee, right down on Roy Rogers. This bout hadn't been underway very long, but I'll guarantee you there has been a lot of action, and then unfortunately for Roy, most of us been one-sided. What a forearm. He really jarred him. Snap that head back, drops him across the knee, big elbow. Now he covers him up. No, he doesn't either. I thought he was going to. And Norvell picking Roy Rogers up. He might have missed his chance to go for a pin right there. Backdrop, Roy down. Oof, caught him on that right hip when he hit. Austin pounding as hard as he can, but he still hadn't put the young fella down for the 3 count. Chokehold and Roy coming back out of the corner. Norvell continuing to roll that knee in there, and the referee finally backs him up. After he pounded on him in the corner, headbutt. There's the cover. 1, 2, Roy moves around and gets those long legs up over the ropes, Davey, and that broke the count.
That saved him. 2 minutes, 30 seconds gone so far in this one. Austin tries the body slam now.
Roy rolled out of the way of the big elbow. And Norvell Austin, the momentum may have slowed down, and Roy a good right hand.
Roy Rogers got Norvell backed into the corner. Heels him out of there across the ring. Hit him with half a drop kick.
Yeah.
He didn't really connect with it.
When you're stunned the way Roy was, your timing is subject to being off.
Yeah, Dennis Condrey is in the ring. Disqualification. Roy Rogers is going to win it, but he's got a problem now in that there's 2 of them in there. 2 of the Midnight Express. Condrey has him up in the air. Norvell comes off that rope.
Condrey holding him all the way up shoulder high, and Dennis is a big guy. Here comes the Dutchman. Spreading a little misery, Dutch Mantell. Here comes the other of the Midnight Express, Randy Rose.
It's 3 against 1. Roy Rogers is laying down here on the floor. It's all the Express against Dutch Mantell. Dutch being pounded by all of them. Lawler hits the ring. Jerry Lawler has
Now there's a pair.
in there, yeah.
There may be some outnumbering, but I'm not so sure it's on the side, not on the side of Lawler and Mantell. Two of the roughest dudes you'll run into.
They have just cleared the ring of the Midnight Express.
They lose the match and ran for the cover of the locker room in there as Dutch came in to help Roy Rogers out. And while the Express, 3 of them, Lawler puts a hand out to the Dutchman. And they have cracked heads, legs, arms. Uh-oh. Mantell not having it. Dutch, he's a peculiar, deep kind of a guy, and he pushed Lawler back down. Lawler trying to shake hands with him. I don't know why.
I'm going to tell you one thing. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to tell him, I don't know if he's hard of hearing or what's the matter with him, but I don't want to be his friend. He thinks it's over, but it ain't over, Lawler. I ain't forgot you, and I don't need his help. I made it this long without him. And I'll continue to make it without him. So the farther he stays away from me, the better off we'll both be. You understand? And he better understand it too. Now let me say one thing. As long as it's one-on-one, it's all right. Me and Lotto's always one-on-one, but when it gets down 2-on-1, 3-on-1, I don't go for that. Now, Roy Rogers, he's out here fighting his heart out week after week, and these guys, they want some attention. Well, buddy, they picked the right guy. Now, Roy, come here, buddy. Roy, he's been a friend of mine for a long time. Now, if they want attention, they're going to get it. If I got to sit with this guy all weekend long, put him in a whirlpool or sauna, I don't care. But if they want attention, all I want them to do is put me and Roy together against those guys, and we'll give them all the attention they want. Just put us on the card, Lance, and we'll give them all they want. Roy, you're going to be all right, buddy. I'm going to stand with you, and we're going to take it. Just put us on the card.
Okay.
We're going to nip this right in the bud. They want attention, we'll nip it right now.
I'm sure that promoter Ernie Marlin will be mindful of the request by Mantell to put him together with Roy and get a matchup with the Midnight Express. Wild act. I guess we'd better take time out right here. I don't guess there's anything else to say. We'll be back in a moment.
Area towns want you to listen to about Championship Wrestling Thursday, April the 15th, Helsinki, Indiana. Brian Taylor Sports Center. The King's going to be there. Then coming up Friday the 16th in Ferdinand, Indiana. The County Rural Youth will be sponsoring that one at Forest Park High School. Big action coming along with the Dutchman going to be there. Thursday, April 22nd, Bardstown, Kentucky. And then Friday the 23rd, it'll be West Point, Kentucky. Action, we'll have more on that a little bit later on. Now, let's look at the whole card at Louisville. Norvell Austin against McCord. Danny Davis against Gypsy Joe. Bobby Fulton against Yamamoto. Mantell and Rogers against Condrey and Rose. You'll love that one. Southern heavyweight title match. The King goes against the powerful Monk for the championship belt. And then a Southern tag team title match with no time, no disqualification. No one is going to walk into the ring with the belt. Eaton and Sugar against Robert Gibson and Steve Keirn. Someone must walk out with it.
Limit match coming up from Memphis, Tennessee at 197 pounds on the right of your screen. David Price going against him from parts unknown, from the First Family with Jimmy Hart as manager. 268 pounds, the Monk. This will be a one-fall, 15-minute time limit match. Jerry Calhoun, the referee.
Well, Hart out here with the Monk. He's his prized possession right now as he's got him in line for a title-type shot. And Hart, who is a master at psyching his boys up, is doing just that with the Monk. David Price having to face this big, powerful guy. Wow.
Powerful is the word. Boy, this guy is. David Price whipped across the ring into the foot of the Monk. The Monk, relentless as he wades into that corner. Looked like a windmill, pounded David Price. A headbutt. Two. And three. And this one is over in 43 seconds.
No great style from the Monk, but sure a lot of power coming out of it. Hart puts the leash back on him and leads him out of the ring. And the Monk in, what was it?
43 seconds.
Yeah, 43 seconds. Poor David never really had a chance. He started right at the beginning, banged him down, and just kept right on going, as we said. Not a great deal of style, but a lot of power in there. Jimmy Hart wanted to show off the great ability of the Monk, and so we said, okay, let's take a look at some of his power. So let's roll it and take a look at it.
You know, I know a lot of you people out there are probably wondering, why didn't the Monk have a chance to wrestle some of the big superstars in professional wrestling like Jerry the King Lawler, Dutch Mantell, Dundee, or Keirn? Why was he always on the opening matches wrestling with people like David Price, Rick McCord or whoever or whatnot. Well, it's very, very simple, and I'll tell you right now. That's because Eddie Marlin. Eddie Marlin won't give him a chance. You know why? Because of the Keirns and the Lawlers and the Mantels. They all ran into Eddie Marlin and said, Eddie, whatever you do, please don't get a match with a monk. I don't want to face the monk because he'll hurt us. He'll put us out of professional wrestling. But you know what? I thought, Jimmy, you are the king of professional wrestling, not Jerry Lawler, who calls himself the king. You are a superstar in professional wrestling. So I said, you know, it's about time that I used a little bit of my pull in professional wrestling to get something done that I want to see happen for a change. So I went to Eddie Marlin and I said, Eddie, I want the monk to face Jerry Lawler. Man, I don't care who's got the belt. I want him to have a championship match, man. It doesn't matter to me. I want the belt, brother, because that's the most important thing to my life is the Southern Heavyweight strap. And he said, oh. And I said, Eddie, I'm going to give you a proposal, brother, and it goes like this. Jimmy Hart and the First Family, if you don't give me a title shot with my monk for the Southern Heavyweight Championship belt, then we're leaving, brother. And old Eddie got weak in the knees, and he started shaking. The sweat busted out all over his face. And his little toupee started flying up, and his old pacemaker went, woo! And he said, leave professional wrestling. And I said, that's right, baby. You heard the mouth of the South, and I'm telling you like it is. I want a championship match. And so, brother, we've got a championship match with Jerry the King Lawler. And I said, Monk, the king, baby, you know what the king's going to do? When you get in the ring with the king, baby, he's going to lay that fist upside your head, brother. He's going to lay that fist upside your head. He's going to hit you with everything he's got. You understand? And you've got to be ready for it. And he's going to lay his foot inside of that stomach, baby. And you've got to be ready for it, Monk. You've got to be ready. You understand me? And one more thing, Monk. One more thing, baby. When he's giving you the best he can give you, when he's giving you all that he can take from you, baby, I want you to take his head, Monk. I want you to take the king's head, baby. I want you to put it in your arms, darling, and I want you to squeeze it. I want you to give it everything you got, Monk. I want you to squeeze the king's head, brother. You know what I'm saying, Monk? Do you know what I mean, baby? Do you know what I'm saying to you? The belt is the most important thing. The belt is the most important. Come on, Monk. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Come on. Look at it, baby. Look at it. Look at it. Look at it. Lord, this is it, baby. It's over. My dream, baby. My dream. It's over. It's over. Look at it. Look. Look at it. Look at it. Look at it. Lord, it's over. I hope you'll be ready, King, because we'll be ready.
The promoter Eddie Marlin and confirmed the fact that he is putting Mantell and Rogers together against the Midnight Express, right. And of course the whole particular card a little bit later. We got an interesting feature we want you to see. Always delighted to have an opportunity to show something on the Superstar. I hope you enjoy this one. Let's take a look.
Boy, tough little son of a gun, I'll tell you. And he means every word he says of it, too. Wait, Edie, we got action coming right up here. It's Stan Lane. Danny Davis will be going against Brown Sugar and beautiful Bobby Eaton. Expiration of time. No. The belt's not around the waist of Sugar and Eaton, as they were held up by promoter Eddie Marlin. Jimmy Hart joying with Stan. Referee Jerry Calhoun trying to get them quieted down so they can get it together. And okay, now we have the team of Eaton and Sugar together again. We're about ready for the official introductions. Here we go, Davey.
To the expiration of time, a total weight of 430 pounds from Delray Beach, Florida, Stan Lane. From Jackson, Tennessee, Danny Davis. Going against him at a total of 448 pounds. From Union City, Tennessee, Sweet Brown Sugar. And from Huntsville, Alabama, beautiful Bobby Eaton. They have Jimmy Hart and J.R. Hart in their corner. This match goes to the expiration of time. Team with the most falls to their credit when the time expires wins the match.
Okay, ready for it. Bell time, and here we go.
Interesting situation here where we have two former members of the First Family going against a couple of First Family guys.
Good point, Dave. Hadn't thought about that. Danny Davis, who is the most recent to defect from the family gathering. And, of course, Stan Lane, who just made it very plain and blunt that he caught Jimmy Hart stealing from him. Oh, look, we noticed that J.R. Hart has sped out and brought in Jimmy's personal chair. Nice to have somebody to run errands for, you know.
True.
He looks up to the shining light. Manager and president of the First Family, Jimmy Hart. In a ring, Bobby Eaton, Stan Lane going at it.
Eaton waited in there. Stan Lane grabbed him in a headlock over to the corner and tagged Danny Davis.
Danny Davis, some air on Eaton, down to the deck, back up.
Eaton fired Davis at the end of the rope. Davis was set.
All right. Danny scoops in, slams in.
Danny Davis through the rope.
Going after Hart.
Jimmy Hart. JR with a chair. Smacked Davis with that in the top of the head.
Lane and Sugar in the ring, and Danny came out to get Jimmy Hart. JR hit him right in the back. And beautiful Bobby busts him, covers him up. Eaton, I swear, had something in his hand. That's going to be it. Stan Lane in the middle, battling with all of them.
Lane with a chair.
Hart chair.
Oh. Ooh.
Hey, that'll put him right through the concrete floor. Okay, first ball goes to Eaton and Sugar. We got to take time. I'll be back in a moment. Alrighty, we're going to be back in action here on Channel 3's Championship Wrestling in just a moment. Tuesday night, told you the entire list of bouts that are coming up. Great night of action coming up. Southern heavyweight title match, Jerry the King Lawler and the Monk will be going against each other for that title. And don't forget the Express and Mantell and Rogers. And then a Southern tag team title match. And we'll be talking to Steve Keirn about that in just a moment. Jerry, the Monk, kind of an unknown factor, except we saw he's strong.
Well, he's strong, and he doesn't have both oars in the water, does he? The Monk is not all there. It's obvious. Well, let me tell you something. I mean, he may have impressed a lot of people, but you know, when I see a guy like Jimmy Hart hitting somebody in the face and hitting him in the stomach with a basketball or with a baseball bat and squeezing a basketball, you and I both know that Jimmy Hart couldn't break an egg with a hammer. So that doesn't impress me too much, Monk. And I've heard all of this garbage before about this is the end, Lawler, and this is the man that's going to finally do you in. Well, you got to prove it to me, and there's only one place to do that, and that's in the ring. So I'm going to be there, Monk, with bells on and with a belt on, and I'm going to take it to you. So do you shoot your best shot, baby?
We'll be looking at that title match, and then Steve and Robert are going to be involved with one with Sugar and Eaton. This time the title's on the line, Steve. They're crying about you intervening and jumping in and all of that kind of stuff. This time there must be a winner. The title will be on the line.
Well, you're right about me interfering, because Lance wrestled last week when my good friend Ricky Gibson couldn't make it to help his partner. I was the first one to volunteer. I'd already wrestled one time, but I came right down there because I wanted any opportunity I could to get in there. Because not only have they injured Ricky Gibson, they've injured one half of my team, and that's Bill Dundee. So every opportunity I get, I'm going to be in there. Well, this week it's a different story. No time limit, no disqualification. It's going to take a lot more than you think to stop me and this man right here, because we're two determined fellas, and we're coming down there to beat you and beat you in front of everybody and everything that comes in that front door, brother.
Got to see it in the Gardens Tuesday night. Don't miss that action. Well, that's why we call it an expiration of time. One fall and the time's gone, man. We don't have much left. What did we do?
All right, it was the Midnight Express. Dennis Condrey, Randy Rose defeating Rick McCord and Eric Embry. Dutch Mantell over Gypsy Joe. Jerry Lawler defeated Ernie Kirkland quickly. 32 seconds was the time on that match. It was Roy Rogers over Norvell Austin by disqualification. It was the Monk defeating David Price in about 48 seconds. Brown Sugar and beautiful Bobby Eaton get the win in that expiration of time match in 2 minutes and 2 seconds over Stan Lane and Danny Davis. So the win going to Brown Sugar and Bobby Eaton. Davis was claiming Eaton had a foreign object in the ring. He might be right, but anyway, Eaton got the win on the fall.
Yeah, he glommed him with something, or we could see it in his hand. Couldn't tell really what he had, but they ended up with it. Okay, that's about it from Old Pond and Dave Brown. Lance Russell saying bye-bye, everybody.